The crash of wings overhead startled Evra, but she didn't flinch. Her crimson hands were steady as they moved along the fungal growth clinging to the gnarled tree root. The bioluminescent strands pulsed under her fingers, glowing faint violet under Eden Prime's twin suns. She adjusted her scanner with a low murmur. Unclassified metabolic patterns. Impressive. Her silver hair, bound tightly in a braid, clung to her neck in damp tendrils. The air was thick with humidity and the scent of wet foliage. Sweat beaded across her brow, soaking into the collar of her tight environmental suit, a black form-fitting ensemble reinforced with nano-weave and consortium issued. Her boots sank into the mossy floor as she knelt. The jungle around her breathed, not metaphorically. The entire ecosystem pulsed with unstable bioelectric fields. It wasn't just alive, it was aware. She was alone. No research partner, no security escort. The consortium had declared this region off-limits after the last team went dark, but that hadn't stopped Evra. She wasn't here for protocol, she was here for discovery. The scanner beeped wildly. A fungal network beneath the roots pulsed in a pattern she didn't recognize. Evra leaned closer, adjusting the frequency. Her gloved fingers brushed a soft membrane, and it recoiled. She froze. Something shifted behind her. A breeze that wasn't a breeze. The sudden wrong silence of birds that should be chirping. Then came the sound, a slow, slithering drag across dry leaves. Too late. A blue coil the width of her thigh wrapped around her ankle and yanked. Evra slammed into the dirt, the wind knocked from her lungs. Her scanner flew from her grasp. More coils followed, thick and glowing an electric blue. The serpent hissed as it tightened around her body, squeezing with inhuman precision. She gasped, trying to reach the blade at her hip, but her arms were pinned. The reinforced fibers of her suit strained and groaned. Ribs creaked, her vision blurred. Number not like this. A flash of motion, the crack of air splitting, then heat and wetness splattered her cheek. Blood, but not hers. The coils spasmed, something was hacking through them. A deep voice growled above her. "Hold still, sweetheart, unless you want to lose something important." The coils slackened. Evra choked down air as the last constricting band of muscle was sliced away. Her chest heaved, lungs screaming. Through bleary vision, she saw a figure standing above her, silhouetted against the green-gold canopy. He was tall, broad-shouldered, tanned skin, short tousled black hair, wielding a humming energy axe that glowed faintly blue. "Jack Stone," he said, deactivating the blade. "Most call me Raider." Evra pushed herself up, ignoring his extended hand. "I didn't ask for your help." "No," he said, flashing a smug grin. "But you sure as hell needed it." He crouched beside the snake, now twitching in death, and pulled out a kit. Evra watched, wary, as he extracted glowing blue fluid from the snake's venom glands. "Blue vortex constrictor," he murmured. "Extremely illegal in most systems, but the venom fetches a pretty price." "Smuggler," Evra muttered. "Procurement specialist," he replied. "And you're not exactly supposed to be here either, Doctor. Consortium gear, lone researcher. Let me guess. Blacklisted for being too curious?" Evra didn't answer. She retrieved her scanner, miraculously still working. "Night's coming," Jack said. "I have a camp nearby. You can come or try your luck with the jungle." She hesitated. She didn't want help, but the jungle didn't care about pride. "Fine," she muttered. "But this is temporary. I pay you for the escort, nothing more." "Sure," he said, gesturing ahead. "Let's go, Red." Jack's camp was nestled within ancient stone ruins reclaimed by the jungle. The place pulsed with faint blue light, soft glows from the walls, the vines, the floor itself. Evra paused at the entrance, her scientific instincts flaring. "These aren't natural structures. They predate the consortium." "Yeah," Jack said, tossing his axe onto a bedroll. "Found the place last year. Got my best hauls in this jungle. Venom, artifacts, mystery tech. Evra wandered deeper. Strange symbols pulsed along the walls in rhythm. Her skin tingled. "There's something alive here," she murmured. "It's just the jungle breathing, Red." "No," she said. "It's more than that." She approached the central platform. A column at the center thrummed with low-frequency energy. Without thinking, her hand touched a sigil. It pulsed, and a hologram bloomed around them. A massive serpentine creature, dozens of heads, luminous filaments swaying like seaweed, hovered in midair. "The Phantom Hydra," Jack said. Evra gaped. "That's a myth." "It's not. I've been tracking its movement for months. I think this place was built around it." She circled the projection. "This architecture, these symbols, they mimic genetic code." He watched her with a moo. Plot. Deeper exploration of the ruins leads them to a central chamber. Ancient alien tech amplifies Evra's empathic powers, creating a psychic link between her and Jack. As their bond intensifies, they trigger a sequence that reveals more about the Phantom Hydra. Physical intimacy begins and awakens the ruins. Evra woke to the low, rhythmic hum of alien technology pulsing softly beneath her bedroll. The ancient stone beneath her vibrated with energy, faint but unmistakable, a kind of heartbeat. She sat up slowly, her crimson skin catching the first rays of Eden Prime's twin dawns as they filtered through the broken archways of the ruin. Jack was already awake, crouched near the edge of the chamber with his axe slung casually across his back. The early light gave his features a soft glow, turning the stubble on his jaw golden, his gray eyes watchful. "You're up early?" she murmured, rubbing the sleep from her neck. "Didn't sleep much," he admitted, not turning. "This place, it breathes, like it's waiting." Evra moved beside him, her hand brushing the stone wall. The glyphs embedded in the rock flickered faintly at her touch. "It is waiting," she said quietly. "I think we've only scratched the surface." They packed quickly and resumed their exploration of the ruins. Guided by the glowing glyphs and subtle energy shifts, they descended into the deeper levels of the structure. With every step, the architecture became more refined. Smoother walls, cleaner lines, and intricate symbols carved in spirals and latticework. The air grew warmer, thicker with energy. By the time they reached what seemed to be a central chamber, the walls glowed a constant, steady blue. A domed ceiling arched above them, etched with constellations neither of them recognized. In the center stood a pedestal, and on it, a crystalline structure pulsing with light. As they entered, the doors behind them slid closed with a soft hiss. "Great," Jack muttered. "Another locked door." Evra ignored him, drawn to the pedestal like a moth to flame. As she neared, her fingers tingled. The markings on her skin, which had dimmed overnight, began to glow once more. "It's reacting to me," she said. "To my biology." "Or to your curiosity," Jack added, stepping beside her. Evra placed both hands on the crystal. Instantly, it flared with light and warmth. A wave of empathic energy radiated out, washing over them both. Jack staggered back. "What the hell was that?" Evra's eyes were wide, glowing. "It felt like you, your emotions, your thoughts." Jack looked stunned. "I felt you too. Everything. Your fear, your excitement, even the way you look at me." The crystal's glow softened, dimming until it was a soft pulse again. But the connection between them remained, invisible but powerful. They looked at each other, breath shallow. Evra reached up, touching his face. Her fingers trailed along his cheekbone, and he closed his eyes at the contact. "This technology amplifies empathy. It's designed to bridge species." Jack opened his eyes. "It bridges more than that." She stepped closer until their bodies nearly touched. The air shimmered between them, charged with more than just technological energy. "I shouldn't," she whispered. "But you want to," Jack said, his voice rough. She kissed him. The moment their lips met, the chamber responded. Lights flared across the walls, glyphs rippling like waves. The crystal pedestal rose higher, rotating slowly. The ancient architecture thrummed with power, as if fed by their union. Jack lifted her effortlessly, setting her atop the pedestal. Their bodies pressed together, the empathic link between them fusing sensation and emotion. Each touch was magnified, each breath echoed through the chamber. Evra's hands roamed his back, fingers glowing as they traced the lines of his muscles. Jack's touch was reverent, his palms gliding over her sides, her hips, learning the language of her skin. This isn't just physical," she gasped against his mouth. "I know," he murmured. "I feel everything you feel." Their bodies moved in rhythm with the pulsing lights. As their connection deepened, the room's energy surged. The crystal cracked open, revealing a glowing core that projected a map of the facility and a new symbol, one they hadn't seen before. They collapsed together in a tangle of limbs and breath, the glow around them finally dimming. Evra lay against his chest, her fingers tracing patterns on his skin. "We've activated something," she said. Jack nodded, still breathless. "Or awakened it." She looked into his eyes, her voice soft. "I think we just became part of this place." Outside the chamber, deep within the walls of the ruin, a presence stirred. The serpent had been watching. Now, it would reveal itself. Plot. Their empathic and physical connection draws the Hydra's attention. The creature interacts peacefully, sharing memories. They discover it was designed as a biological interface. M. Plot. Professor Thorne, Jack's former employer, arrives and tries to take control. Evra's transformation reaches a dangerous point. Thorne helps stabilize her but wants to exploit the tech. Evra uses empathic resonance to show him the truth. Thorne has a change of heart. Jack and Evra choose to complete the bonding ritual. A week had passed within the subterranean sanctuary of the ancient ruins. Jack and Evra had mapped large sections of the structure and learned to navigate its shifting walls and hidden chambers. But their most pressing discovery wasn't etched in the stone walls. It was unfolding within Evra's own body. Her transformation was accelerating. The glowing glyphs on her crimson skin had spread into elegant constellations, reaching her neck and lower back. Her senses had become hyper-attuned. She could hear heartbeats in the next room, taste mineral content in the air, and detect Jack's emotions before he voiced them. The facility seemed to nurture these changes, guiding them along a path toward something ancient. Then, without warning, the facility's systems shut down. The soft ambient glow faded. The air grew still. The Hydra vanished. And in the dark, a new voice echoed through the chamber. "Well now, Mr. Stone, you always did find interesting company." Jack's eyes narrowed at the tall figure descending from the upper catwalk. White suit immaculate, silver hair unruffled. Professor Edwin Thorne. "Thorne," Jack growled, "you shouldn't be here." "On the contrary," Thorne said smoothly, "I'm exactly where I intended to be, and right on time by the look of things." Evra tried to stand but staggered. Jack caught her just as the glyphs on her skin flared dangerously bright. "She's unstable," Thorne noted with clinical interest. "Fascinating. The transformation has reached stage 3, Evra hissed. "You knew this would happen." "I suspected," Thorne replied. "You activated the ancient bonding protocols. The facility is designed to enhance cross-species compatibility through empathic resonance. What I couldn't predict was just how potent your bond with Mr. Stone would become." Jack stepped between them, weapon drawn. "Back away from her." Thorne raised both hands. "I don't want to hurt anyone. In fact, I'm the only one here who can help." Evra grimaced, clutching her stomach. Her skin patterns pulsed in chaotic rhythm. The harmonizer core, now inert, lay dim beside her pack. "She needs stabilization," Thorne said. "The empathic circuitry is overwhelming her systems. If it continues, her body will tear itself apart." Jack hesitated. Through their link, he felt Evra's pain, sharp, dissonant, invasive. "Do it," she whispered. Reluctantly, Jack handed Thorne the harmonizer. The professor worked swiftly, fingers dancing over the crystal interface. As he tuned the device, the facility's systems began to reactivate. Light returned to the chamber, warmer now, amber instead of blue. The Hydra reappeared, its heads coiled in observation. Thorne activated the harmonizer with a pulse of empathic energy channeled through his gloves. The patterns on Evra's skin settled into a rhythmic pulse. Her breathing eased. "It's temporary," Thorne said. "The only permanent solution is completion of the bonding ritual." Jack frowned. "What does that mean exactly?" Thorne looked between them. "It means physical and emotional unification. It's what the ancients designed this place for. A ritual of intimacy that locks the changes in place." Evra sat upright, her voice steadier. "And if we don't?" "Your systems will destabilize again, this time permanently." Silence stretched between the three of them. Then Evra stood, unsteady but determined. "Jack, it's my choice, and I choose to complete the bond." He reached for her hand, fingers intertwining. "Then I'm with you." Thorne gave a thin smile. "You're about to become part of the most important scientific event in recorded history." Evra turned toward him, her glyphs glowing. "This isn't about science anymore, Professor. This is about trust, about connection." She stepped forward and placed her hand on Thorne's arm. The empathic glow extended to him. For a moment, his mind opened to hers. He saw what she felt for Jack, the complexity of their bond, the awe of their shared experience. When she pulled away, Thorne looked shaken. See?" he murmured. Jack watched him warily. "You gonna try and sell us out when we leave this place?" Thorne adjusted his cuffs. "Not unless I want the Hydra to vaporize me." The great creature hissed softly, confirming the warning. Evra and Jack stepped into the sanctum, the original bonding chamber. As the doors sealed behind them, soft energy pulsed from the walls. They approached the central pedestal. Evra's skin was radiant now, almost translucent, the empathic symbols dancing with life. "Are you afraid?" she whispered. "A little," Jack admitted. "But not of you." She smiled. "Then come closer." As their lips plot, Evra and Jack leave Eden Prime with proof of their bond and Evra's pregnancy. Thorne assists them. Their hybrid child changes interspecies policy. Years later, they raise their son together, now icons of a new scientific and emotional frontier. The story ends with romantic humor and hope. 3 weeks had passed since the bonding ritual in the heart of the ancient facility, and the jungle of Eden Prime had never felt more alive. Jack and Evra stood outside the vine-draped entrance, bathed in the planet's golden sunrise. The phantom Hydra hovered silently nearby, watching them with a serenity that defied its monstrous form. Evra adjusted the strap on her pack, now carrying something infinitely more precious than data. Her transformation had stabilized. The empathic symbols on her crimson skin had faded into subtle tattoos, faintly glowing only when her emotions spiked. And within her, confirmed by both Thorne's scans and her own deep instinct, grew the first true human-alien hybrid. "You ready?" Jack asked, his voice quiet but steady. "As ready as I can be," she said, laying a hand gently on her stomach. "We carry the proof now. No one can deny it." Thorne approached from behind, his once pristine white suit now stained with jungle wear. He looked more human somehow, less of the pristine academic, more of the man he might have been before ambition clouded his vision. "The shuttle is en route to the extraction point," he said, tapping a small wrist console. ETA 2 hours. We should move. Together, they trekked through the forest, the Hydra drifting behind them like a silent guardian. Thorn kept glancing at Evra's abdomen, his mind clearly racing with calculations and implications. Jack noticed. You keep staring like you want to dissect her. Don't forget the last time the Hydra didn't like that. Thorn held up his hands. Strictly professional curiosity, I assure you. Evra chuckled softly. Relax, both of you. We have more important battles ahead. The consortium headquarters on Valaris Prime was a towering monolith of glass and white stone. When Evra, Jack, and Thorn stepped into the grand assembly hall, all conversations ceased. Delegates from dozens of species turned to face them, their expressions ranging from skepticism to awe. Jack felt the weight of every eye. He squeezed Evra's hand, their bond humming softly in the back of his mind. Thorn took the lead. Madam Chairwoman, honored delegates, he began. We present not just data, but living evidence of what the Eden Prime facility was designed to accomplish. He gestured toward Evra. She stepped forward, lifting the edge of her tunic to reveal the pulsing glyphs beneath her skin. The murmurs in the room grew louder. This is not a temporary mutation, Evra said calmly. This is the result of a successful ancient bonding ritual between species. The facility amplified our empathic connection until we achieved biological compatibility. Jack added, Our child is due in 6 months. Silence. Then chaos. It took weeks to stabilize the political fallout. The conservative factions of the consortium demanded containment and quarantine. Others wanted immediate access to the harmonizer technology. A few even demanded the child be taken into custody for observation. Jack nearly throttled someone. But then something miraculous happened. As Evra's condition advanced, she agreed to a limited broadcast. The moment her bioluminescent skin patterns reacted to Jack's presence on live stream, pulsing with warmth and unmistakable affection, millions across the galaxy witnessed a kind of unity they'd never thought possible. Hearts began to change. Laws followed. By the time Evra gave birth, a new coalition was forming, one dedicated to interspecies unity, research, and protection. Their child, Vexinar Stone Invashi, became a symbol of what the ancients had dreamed. 5 years later. Vex, don't you dare put that in your mouth! Evra lunged across their floating apartment's lounge, snatching a glowing crystal out of her hybrid son's small hand. Vex, his skin a soft blend of Jack's earthy tones and Evra's crimson, with glowing silver eyes, pouted. But it buzzes. Jack emerged from the kitchen, flipping a pancake. So do plasma grenades. Doesn't mean you taste test them. Evra gave him a look. Very helpful. He winked. Just doing my part for science. Their home overlooked the floating gardens of Helion Station, the new diplomatic center for the Interspecies Alliance. Jack had become an unlikely ambassador, while Evra now chaired the ethics board on empathic tech applications. Thorn, surprisingly, had mellowed into a mentor role. He still published papers, still stirred the pot, but always credited Evra and Jack as the beginning of it all. One night, after tucking Vex into bed and locking the tech cabinet again, Evra joined Jack on the balcony. They want us to speak at the 10-year Eden Conference, she said, sipping a glass of co.